Welcome to Kilroy Films. My name's James and I'm a budding beginner videographer. I'm hoping I can provide you with some decent content that will help beginner videographers navigate a path that I've already done over the last 12 months and maybe learn something and help you out. Today's video, I'm saying a comparison between the M50 and the EOS R. It's really a beginner's view on why I've stepped up from the M50 to the EOS R and what that kind of looks like and how that will level up your video work and obviously my video work. So stick around and we'll talk some more. So yeah, I was a hobbyist videographer using this little thing, the Canon M50, for about, I don't know, 15, 16 months, almost 18 months I've had this now. And I originally got it because I had a YouTube channel where I was vlogging and I was vlogging running. It was a running channel. I'm a running leader in running fitness and I was really enjoying that. So I had an action camera that I took out on runs, but I bought this because it's small and compact and it has the old flippy outy screen to enable you to vlog basically and talk. So when I was doing events, if I was at half marathons or races or whatever, this was perfect. Perfect little tiny travel camera. But as I got used to it, I started to realise it's quite a powerful little thing, and most cameras today are. There are plenty of other YouTube channels out there that do full-on reviews on these things and comparisons from one to the other and everything. So fill your boots. There's loads you can learn about the M50, but one channel that really helped me level up was a channel called Crowley Crew. It's a guy called Job, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, buddy, if he ever watches this. He's from Canada, or he lives in Canada, and he's done a masterclass on the M50. He's got a whole playlist about things with the M50, and I've watched multiple times some of them to really dial in my settings and make sure I was getting the most out of this camera, to the point that I've been paid recently for a couple of small commercials for local businesses and some dance work I did for a dance club. And I thought, this is cool. I really like this. So I need to level up. But I actually did a shoot, a free shoot for a local charity alongside another videographer. So I asked to be his B cam, so to give him some extra footage. I was using this. He was using a Sony A7S III, I believe. It was dark. We were outside. It was an outdoor event. He didn't use much of my footage because he was honest and he said, it was quite nice. He said, I've got an eye for videography and he thinks I'll make a good go of it. And practice makes perfect with anything. And the more you practice something, the better you're going to get at it. But this thing let me down. He said the M50 just let me down slightly and he couldn't really use some of the footage because it wasn't great in low light. So that's why I started thinking, do I want to take this really, really seriously? Do I really want to have a go at it? And I think now's a great opportunity for anyone looking to step into videography anyway, because especially at the budget end, which is obviously where I'm going to start out, because of this global pandemic that we're facing, lots of small businesses are struggling. I'm actually going to approach my local small businesses and offer them, you know, potentially free work to build myself a portfolio and help out local businesses as well, because video is king. Now, I just apologise because the light balance keeps changing on this. I don't know how to set it up properly on the smartphone, but I wanted to use the smartphone for this video because M50, when I got it, by the way, my first bit of advice for any beginner is don't buy new. I bought this off eBay and I bought this, I think they retail now at about £500 just for the camera body without any lenses, or maybe with the kit lens. But I got it not with this lens that's on there now. That's a 22mm prime lens that's on there now, the f2 prime, which I got recently for low light stuff and wide angle. But it came with the kit lens, but it also came with 11 to 22mm lens, which I've actually just sold today on eBay for 200 quid. There it is, all packaged up. I won't show the other side because it's got the guy's name and address on it, but I'm posting that tomorrow and I've taped the hell out of it, so it's a nice package for him. It came with that, the 11 to 22, the kit lens, the 15 to 45, and this 18 to 150 lens as well. I actually bought the lens hoods myself. It didn't come with the lens hoods, but all of these zoom lenses it came with for 750 quid. Now each of these lenses, these still go used on places like MPB for I think, you know, 100 quid, something like that. If you buy them new, it's a lot more than that. This thing is over 200 quid new, I think. And second hand, they're going for 100, 120, 150. And the 11 to 22 is I saw it on MPB for 269, so I put it as buy it now on eBay for 200, thinking, you know, someone snapped it up. Obviously, it's a great deal. But I got all three of those lenses and the camera body for 750 quid. And the guy also threw in some filters as well, a couple of UV filters and a CPL filter. So my point is, this is in mint condition still now. It's in perfect condition. There are no scratches on the screen. None of the lenses are scratched or marked. There's been no droppages or anything like that. It's like a brand new camera still now after I've had it for 18 months. So my first beginner's tip is look at the secondhand market, because there are thousands of people buying thousands of these things and upgrading and then selling secondhand their older bodies all the time. I've done exactly the same with the EOS R. Now this is why I wanted to use a smartphone, so I can show you both cameras. Just the difference here. It's the main thing for me, the size. I'll have to show this properly. This grip, you can see my fingers literally just get in there. And from a depth point of view, the little finger's not even on there. So it's 3 fingers barely gripping the grip, to try and give you an idea of the size. And I'm doing this, by the way, because when I bought this, I didn't actually realise just how small it was. I just watched YouTube videos. I didn't go and physically see one. And when it turned up, I was like, wow, it's even smaller than you imagine from watching YouTube. But look at this thing, that grip. My fingers are right in there, right past the first joint. And all 4 fingers are in there. It's a bigger camera. I've got a big lens on there. I've got the 85mm prime that I purchased with it as well. But it's heavy, it's a beast. It feels like a proper camera. This is something that's going to take me into the rest of this year and next year easily. And again, I got it secondhand. I got it secondhand with actually the f4L. So the, what is it, 24-105 f4L lens. It's really good quality, really sharp. And I also bought a new this wasn't even new. This was opened but not used, they said, so it was discounted. So it was an 85, this is an 85mm prime f2, and it's also got macro capability. And I also ordered with it the 35mm prime, which I think is f1.8 off the top of my head. And that also has macro capability, all 3 RF, all 3 image stabilized, and all of those 3 lenses and the camera for £3,100. Now, to me, that's an absolute bargain. So that's my main bit of advice, is shop around the second-hand market, even eBay. As I say, I got the M50 from eBay, absolutely perfect. So now, yeah, I've just shown you the difference. Because really I didn't understand the difference when I got into this. I watched loads of videos and everyone was saying this is perfect for content creators on YouTube. Anyone making a YouTube video, vlogging, it can do 4K, but it's seriously cropped because it's a crop sensor anyway, APS-C sensor they call it. I didn't understand any of this lingo. I've learned all of this stuff by watching YouTube videos. I highly recommend it if you want to get into this. Just watch lots of YouTube videos. But there comes a point when, if you've got the cameras, you need to get out there and actually use them and practice, because I am a victim of spending way too much time watching other people talk about how to do this and how to do that and not actually practicing with the cameras. And that's why I now want to use these 2 things as filmmaking kit to go out and actually approach small businesses and say, what can I do for you to help you out? Oh, by the way, I've just remembered, I've got this horrible cold sore. Oh, that's going to look great. But I still wanted to film this today because these lenses are all up for sale. As you saw, the one I've already packaged up, and I thought I'm not going to have a chance to film this because these lenses are going to go. I'm actually going to keep the M50 as my B cam with the 22mm prime, which is f2. And another thing that I bought for it, not so long ago actually, is a nifty 50. You'll hear people talk about the Canon nifty 50. There are various versions of it. This is a plastic version. Again, did I buy this new? I bought the 22mm secondhand as well actually. This is quite an expensive lens because it's a prime f2. I bought that secondhand. Literally nearly everything I own is secondhand and it's all in mint condition. I did buy the nifty 50 new, however, because these are quite cheap anyway. I think this was about 50 quid. And I bought the Viltrox speed booster because this is an EF mount, not an M mount for the M series camera. So you get this converter. You can just get a basic adapter. Canon adapter and Viltrox also do a basic adapter as well. But I thought I might as well go for the speed booster because the speed booster actually counteracts that crop factor. So I can't remember the maths, but it makes the 50mm act with the APC sensor and then with the Viltrox speed booster, the equation that goes into it makes the 50mm act more like a 35mm on a full frame camera. So that's the nifty 50, and that is an f1.8, which is brilliant for low light. For your average user, it's absolutely fantastic piece of glass. And on the speed booster, it actually takes it down to f1.2. You do sacrifice quality, I've learned. Again, if you don't understand f's and f-stops and all of that, it's the maximum aperture, how much light gets let into the lens. I didn't understand all that when I bought this thing. I had no idea what I was doing, but watching YouTube videos and getting the stuff and reading about it and going out practicing it is a big tip. So yeah, nifty 50. So I'm going to keep the 22mm and the 50 because they're both prime, they're both good for low light situations, and they're closest to quality to the EOS R I'm going to get for a B cam. Basically, they'll be used for any kind of talking head type stuff where you can do a second angle. They'll be used for any interview type work, really. This will be used as a backup camera. Even when I've done the occasional dance video, or there's a couple of things I've got coming up where we're going to be filming performers, live performers. I'll be using the EOS R on my gimbal, which I'll talk about in a second. And this will probably be set up static for a wide angle with the 22 as a safety angle. So if I miss something with the gimbal, we've got this capturing it as well. Anyway, what I want to do now is swap over to the EOS R and stop using the smartphone. Okay, so now we're switched to the EOS R, and hopefully, fingers crossed, you can see a difference in quality compared to the smartphone. Apologies if my eyes drift up, I'm just checking I'm in frame and stuff with the screen I've got on top. This segment of the video, oh by the way, I'm not using a microphone, it's the in-body mic, so you may actually notice better audio quality when I was recording with the smartphone, because I was using, oh it's still attached, a little external Rode mic on the smartphone. Anyway, the point of this last part of the video is just to talk to beginner videographers about what other kit I felt was necessary to get. It might help you out. So, the M50, as I said, this was it, and I went for the full vlogging Joby GorillaPod. I think this is the 5kg version. It's got the ball head, so you can put it in pretty much any position. This thing's super versatile. You can hold it out and do the whole vlogging thing. But for running, for my running channel, the reason I got this actually wasn't for doing that. It wasn't for walking along and doing the kind of vlog thing. It was because these, you can put them around fence posts and lamp posts and do all of that B-roll when you're running past something or coming towards the camera or jumping over the camera, all those funky little bits of B-roll that running channels like to do. So it's pretty cool. And it's great for travel. Like this rig now, Rode mic on the top, I got the Rode Mic Pro, the camera, a couple of lenses, and this tripod. You can put that all in and really sling it all in a really small backpack, and just when you're out with the family, this is great for getting out and popping on a table and doing stuff with your family as well. We went to Harry Potter World and all kinds of stuff with this exact setup. So I would say something like this is pretty key, and a microphone is really key. If you want to do anything for YouTube or anything above just YouTube videos, a microphone is key. It doesn't have to be the Rode VideoMic Pro, it could be the mini one they do, it could be a lavalier mic. I've got a lavalier mic, I've got quite a few mics actually, and I've actually upgraded recently to an external recording source as well to give me latency or redundancy, sorry, in my my sound recording. But you can start out with just something like this, an on-camera mic for sure. And obviously a tripod. Let's whack actually the M50 on. I've recently upgraded to this tripod. Sorry about the mess in the room. But this is one I started out with, the KNF Concept basic plastic tripod with a video pan head. It's not the best one, but that effectively, those two tripod, or that tripod, sorry, the KNF tripod was all you need. So a cheap tripod, one of these, and a mic. That's what I started out with. Then, when I saved up enough money and had the opportunity, I realised that a lot of the videos I wanted to do, not just for myself but for other people, would involve a bit of dynamic movement, and gimbals are all the rage, right? I had a gimbal for my smartphone before I got the M50 actually, and I absolutely loved it. So I got the Moser Aircross 2. It's a good budget one. It's good for lightweight cameras like the M50 up to medium. I've actually balanced the R on it the other day when I got the R. The motors are all at 100% though, so I'm not sure how long the battery will last and whether it's going to put too much wear and tear on the motors of this one, because it is meant for medium to lightweight cameras. A gimbal is a great tool. It's an expensive tool, And I'm still learning it. I'm still not brilliant. I've gone out and made mistakes where I've had the in-body image stabilization on the M50 switched on whilst using a gimbal, and it just doesn't work. You get some really weird, jerky movements on the frames, so you need to remember lots of extra little settings to turn off when you're using a gimbal. You've obviously got a balance, so it increases your time on set. If you swap lenses out, then you need to rebalance every time, so it can be a bit annoying, but I've done a couple of dance videos recently, and this is all I used. I just set it up and used this, and having another camera on a tripod as your safety angle is the best way to go. The other thing is lighting. So if you're doing stuff like I am now in a bedroom, I was going to say a studio, but it's a bedroom, then having the right lights is key as well. I'll whack this back on again quickly. It's the next thing I want to invest in, because I just went cheap with lights. As you can see, this light here is just a photo studio light. I've got two of them that came in a kit. They're ESDDI, I think. Can we see that there? ESDDI, yeah. Those were on, those lights, two of them in a pack with light stands and everything and bulbs. They're meant for photography, I think. They come in the soft boxes and stuff. They were about 35 quid, so they are very, very cheap, but they're not very, very bright. They're not ideal. I mean, it's okay for what I'm doing now, but if I want to start doing proper commercials for companies, etc., showing off a product, you need much better lighting. So that's the next thing on my list. I do also have, forgot to talk to you about this, an RGB panel. I've got that behind me at the moment to try and give a bit of separation from the background, because I've just got this black thing covering up some mirrors actually. Sorry, it's not an RGB panel, it's an LED panel. It's not RGB, it's just one colour, daylight colour. And recently I also invested in one of these, which is an RGB panel. It's got all the different RGB colours, it's got scenes on it and all sorts as well, and I've just got that in the background there. It's got magnets and it's actually picking up and standing there quite nicely the metal that runs down the edge of your window, so it's just giving a little bit of colour in the background, not a lot. As I say, I didn't set this up super quickly, but I've waffled. This was meant to be a quick beginner's video for other beginner videographers like me to compare getting your first small budget camera like the M50 and what accessories you can add to it to actually get out there and do some pretty good quality work and get paid for it, but then levelling up as well. So that's my thoughts. Let me know in the comments what you think, and hopefully see you soon.